Yes, we back with another Cowherd's Corner. You know the vibes. I'm finna send the link to Lou right now. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't know how to do this. What's going on, everybody? Glad y'all pulled up again. We here to connect. We here to connect. Second. Lou, where you at, Lou? Where you at, Lou? I got you. I got you. Yo, I got so many emails, man. I got so many emails. We on IG, of course. We on IG. Cowherd's Corner on IG. You feel me? That's really where the conversation is best. This is just me kind of giving some different avenues and learning the streaming game and all that good stuff. We're gonna start momentarily. My email pop up. Come on, man. All right. We'll be here in a second. What's good? What's good, man? Welcome to Cowher's Corner, everybody. We're gonna get started momentarily. Lou, you're gonna be jumping in momentarily. Okay, Google, play Spotify.
Sure, playing Spotify.
I don't know what's about to play, but play a little music till Lou get in. It's gonna be a good episode, man. We got another great black entrepreneur pulling up. Actually, I think he's gonna be the first food entrepreneur that we've had on the platform. So that's pretty dope. I'm looking forward to seeing how he kind of got into the game. Why peanuts, other than a good play on his last name, and it's going to be a good show. It's an interesting time right now as we get ready for another election. There is still a lot of riffraff and a lot of commotion, around what to do, what people want you to do. Um, but we are in unprecedented times, and whatever decision you decide to make, let me just say this: whatever decision you decide to make, uh, just be ready to stand on that solidly and firmly, uh, and don't do it out of ignorance. Don't do it out of spite, right? Like really be ready to stand on whatever decision you make, and we've been through some terrible things. We're gonna get through whatever, right? Every decision we make comes with consequences, comes with rewards. Um, So, you know, we don't know what we don't know, and that's with Biden, that's with Trump for another term. Um, so, but yeah, it's good times. October really kind of came in with a vengeance and kicked up. Shout out to the Lakers. You feel me? Got this chip. The Dodgers seem like they about to do the same thing momentarily. So, everything is good. Everything is up. Everything is up. Shout out to Jarrell, Columbus, Ohio. I think that's who playing right now. Let me see. Yeah. Shout out to D Carter putting niggas on. There go my guy. There go my guy. My boy, what's good?
Bro, what's going on?
Not much. You got the email as well?
Yeah, I don't have Chrome, so I'm downloading it right now.
Oh, okay. No rush, man. Listen, no worries. One thing about me in the pod since season forever is technical thing is always going to come in the conversation. So I know how to navigate. No worries, man. How you feeling? You all right?
I am. Glad the day is over. It's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting weekend.
Yeah, you've been having. I feel like you had a couple. You have been having an interesting 10 days or so right now, my boy.
Yeah, man. It's when it rains, it pours in a positive way.
Yeah. Amen to that, bro.
So let me see. What's up, Romaine? It's good to see you, bro.
All right, let me see what we got going on here. All right. So for those, thank you for pulling up to Cowherd's Corner, y'all. We gonna get started momentarily. We got 2 different streams happening, so we about to get the stream for the YouTube channel and Twitter going, and then we're gonna start the show. So appreciate y'all pulling up, kicking it, and y'all in for a good conversation, some good insight. Yeah, you know what? And that's on me. I should have sent you this link, you know what I mean, a while ago, so we could have kind of known what we needed to do. But again, that's kind of how I move. I move very not organized. Here we go, my boy.
There we go.
Yeah,
doing
just
it.
like that. Bang, bang, gang. All right. So again, I'm very glad to have another Morehouse brother here on the corner. Really doing positive things, doing things that again, I said earlier before you hopped on, I think you're my first entrepreneur on the show. So I'm very excited to kind of tap in entrepreneurship. So without further ado, man, go ahead and introduce yourself, however you want to run yourself down. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So my name is Deas. Deas actually is my last name. Here from Atlanta, Georgia, specifically from Lithonia, the city of God. If you don't know about it, just come talk to me. Yeah, yes, sir. I'm a 2011 graduate of Morehouse College, and I'm the proud owner of These Nuts and Other Sweet Treats. I also co-own a print shop called 5 Star Print Co. I do any kind of printing manufacturing for your needs. And I'm also affiliated with an organization called Neath, marketing, creative visual company. So I'm a real busy person, but I'm finding out how to do things that I love and enjoy, things that add value to my life and life of other people. So,
EMTP shit. You feel me?
Hey, all day, every day. We can't stay focused on one thing. So, yeah, man.
For those who don't know, I highly suggest that you do what's called 16 personalities or Myers-Briggs. Learn the type of person that you are. So myself and Lou were both EMTPs, so we don't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Remember that's what we bonded on.
That's right.
At Village, yeah. So basically, we are focused more on like theories and bigger ideas. We're creative, expressive, not so much. We understand the importance of the finer details, but that's not what we care about. That's not where we want to spend our time. That's not where we believe our most value is located.
That's a good way of putting it.
So let's kind of jump into let's transition right to Village Microfund. So that's when I really found out about what it was you were doing. Obviously, I knew you were on some Morehouse shit, but not on the entrepreneur side. And it's funny now, right? I'm like, damn, I'm really glad I tapped into bro, because now bro on the show, and we already had this kind of alignment. It's not on so now he hot type shit. You know what I mean? Like, you got the picture just recently, but we gonna get there. We're gonna get to the last 10 days, 2 weeks or so. But let's talk about the Village Microfund and how impactful that was for you and what you have going on.
Yeah, so Village Microfund, it's a gem of Atlanta, I feel like. Village Microfund with Harriet and Dante and Nate and all the good things that they're doing, really providing an outlet for entrepreneurs in Atlanta, whether you're an artist, whether you're a food entrepreneur, whether you have a social cause. They really provide the training and the community that's needed to take your idea from just a thought in your head to seeing it become a real life thing, and then not just get started, but how to thrive and how to scale. I think that's something that Atlanta, I don't want to say is lacking because entrepreneurship is cool now, but they have a very mindset, a village focus on how to make the system work for us as a community and how we can be intertwined as a community. So this conversation right here, it, my opinion, exemplifies why the village exists, connecting people who have similar ideas, but even more how teaches us that even though we're all black, or in our case, young black men, we're not a monolith. So there's an exchange of ideas, there's an exchange of different backgrounds, which all kind of help inform who we are, what we're going to do. So it was great. I made some lifelong friends, people that I love, people that have been very supportive of me from then until now, and I'm supportive of them. And it really creates, like I said, a community, an ecosystem that feeds one another. The shared kitchen that I work out of, I came to them through the Village Microfund. So it's been a big help to me, and much success to them.
That's hard. So who was Lou before these nuts? Graduate Morehouse College. You can kind of talk about that experience there, or you can jump right into after graduation. All the what are you doing next question.
Yeah. So my life has been very interesting. Is not just the word, but it's been very windy, I would say. One thing I'll say about my life is this is an adventure because I never know what God has around the corner for me. So I was in school as what was my major? English pre-law. I was determined to be an attorney because 830 Westview Drive. If you come through, they pump our head up with you guys are basically the greatest thing since sliced bread. And once you leave here, you're gonna go and change the world. And men of Morehouse trying to become Morehouse men. That's our focus. And on graduation day, May 15th, 2011. President Obama's mentor was talking, and I don't know if it was my conscience, my gut, or the Holy Spirit, but he was like, you're not going to be a lawyer, right? I'm like, what? I've already told my mom's already told everybody, oh, my baby's about to be an attorney. I was going after the money and the prestige because Morehouse was definitely, about to hurt your pockets 2008. But in that, I pretty much got the alert that was not the route for me, and I'm so grateful that I listened to that voice, which like I said, I believe it was the Lord telling me, and I went to find a path of my own. Took me through. I worked at Target. I kept this going, the Target crew from way back when. Then I got fired from Target. So the person who was the manager, I was the second highest ranking person in the store. It was a big deal. But he told me when I got there, he's like, I don't know how you got this job. I don't like you, and I'm going to see to it that I get rid of you. And sure enough, he did. But what that did was it set me on the path that I needed to be on. And I learned to really look at every obstacle as an opportunity, and it's a way for God to reveal himself in my life. So I went down the path of being a nonprofit leader, nonprofit worker. So I worked at the YMCA, worked for a missions organization called called HOI, and I worked for Operation Hope. But one thing that I noticed was that I have a heart to do good, and I'm a minister too, by the way, which is a very funny thing. Minister with a brand called Deas. But I recognize that the people like me were making the impact, so to speak. But the people who were making the decisions, who were guiding what impact we were going to do, it was the board members, the people with the big check, the people who said, if you don't do what I want to do, you're not getting this $50,000 that I have. And so I started to learn the power of, I guess, the dollar. As much as I love Morehouse, one of the things that I regret is that Morehouse never really taught us, at least not in my department, to be creators or to be industry leaders. We were being prepared to go to the greatest grad school. We were being prepared to be the greatest worker for your big Fortune 500 companies. But it wasn't until I got to one of my jobs where a 70-year-old white Republican said, "Lewis, have you ever considered being an entrepreneur?" I was like, "No, it's not for me." Because in my mind, an entrepreneur, a business person, was somebody who was stuffy and stuck up and worked 24 hours a day, somebody who looked like they were going to leadership building. Like, I know we're going back like a decade, well, for me at least.
No, go
but
ahead. Go ahead.
there was an image in my head of what an entrepreneur was or what a business leader was, and I didn't match up with that. But when he broke it down to me in a way that I could understand, told me about the importance of relationships and just how talking to people and being creative, all of those things lead to being a good entrepreneur. And then I was like, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And that's when he told me a very sound piece of advice, which I still carry with me to this day, and I'll take it to the grave. Probably not significant to anybody else, but he said, always staff to your weaknesses. I always thought that I had to be Superman. So if I can't do everything, because I'm used to being not like being braggadocious, but I'm used to being a top tier type of person. So if I'm not the best at it, I kind of don't want to do it. But I learned the power of working with and through other people to help leverage that. And I've seen that all throughout my business. Any challenges that I've had, I've been blessed with a great community of family and friends who say, hey, you ought to consider this. Hey, you ought to consider that. And so, yeah, staffing to my weakness from things that I can't see around the corner. That's just kind of been the magic sauce behind it. Also, every day is an adventure. I literally don't know what's coming up next week. I could be getting a phone call that says, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. And that's just kind of the exciting part about life and about entrepreneurship. It's the ups and the downs. It's the greatest improv that there is. And so being ENTP, no 2 days are alike for me. And so that keeps me engaged and kind of excited. So yeah, I'll stop there.
No, all good. This is your show, your episode. So 70-year-old white Republican tells you or suggests, hey man, or what about being an entrepreneur? You think you sit on it, you marinate, maybe you pray on it, meditate on it, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with these nuts. And it's like, oh shit, these nuts. Or is it like you tried a couple things and like, damn, that's not it again. Damn, that's not it again. Oh, I'm confident, but I'm not passionate about it. It's working, but I'm not really passionate about it. What was that entrepreneur doing like to finally get to these nuts?
Yeah, so, and that's a good question. And this is one thing about stories that I don't necessarily like, is that in between two sentences, it could be either 2 minutes, 2 years, or 2 decades of time, but nobody knows that, nobody tells you. So the time between the seed being planted of you can be an entrepreneur, and of course my mom and everybody over the years told me you can be whatever you want to be, but the time between that idea being planted in my mind to me saying, you know what, I ought to do these nuts, was probably a year and some change. So take into account that while this idea of entrepreneurship is in my head, I'm in seminary. So again, it's kind of weird to be talking about the canonization process of the Bible while trying to figure out how I'm about to make a lot of money. Because there was a transition that had to happen. There was a death process.
Speak on it.
Yeah, so I had to kind of die to who I was so that I could be reborn in a sense to who I'm becoming. And there was one book that really kind of kicked off the journey. Anyhow, I forget the name of the book, but the chapter, yeah, it's gonna come back. But the chapter was Now I Become Myself. And that book changed my life. The concept of becoming oneself. And I really think I went to seminary really so that a lot of my old conceptions or ways of thinking were to die off. So things that I learned, things that I was exposed to, it caused me to go into like a state of depression because it made me ask a whole bunch of big questions that I wasn't really prepared for at the time. So the question then came, if I strip all of this away, who am I? Who am I going to be? And then really telling myself, I literally can be anything that I want to be. Not allowing myself to typecast myself or letting other people typecast me based off of who I was or who I presented myself to be. And so killing off the doubt, going through the hard process of what if I fail? What if everybody sees me fail? Because once you start talking about you're going to start a business, people want to see, all right, so where is it? So all of that, and that formation process, it hurt. It hurt like I was going through hell. But coming out on the other side is so much better. So I realized that life was not, I had a choice of whether to let life happen to me or whether I was going to be an active participant in my own life. I started to, I guess, reclaim my own agency. So faith in God also meant having faith in myself. Believing that God put everything in me that I needed to thrive and to succeed. So I come from a Pentecostal background. We hoot, we holler, we do jumping jacks, cartwheels, all that kind of good stuff. But then I recognize and realize if I truly believe that the Spirit of God lives inside of me, then why can't He give me the next $1 million idea? Who am I to put a limit on a limitless God? So that coupled with the fact that I started doing the math and realized that on a nonprofit worker salary, I'll never get done paying off my student loans. And I understood that I had to be a producer, not just a consumer. So I wanted to start, because I work in marketing, I was going to do a marketing firm. But on my way to sleep, you know that liminal space where you're not quite asleep, you're not quite awake yet. I was on my way to sleep, and all of a sudden, Deas nuts. I was like, "Yo, it's a joke that I've literally heard my entire life."
I'm like, it hasn't happened like that, bro. Like I knew it wasn't like this, like like a thinking board session. It was like I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was dead ass just these nuts, bro. Like it's a no-brainer, right? I knew it.
That's literally what happened. And I sat up in my bed and I started laughing because I was like, this is perfect. Because it embodies, I think, all of who I am in one little package. So it's witty, it's creative.
Good. You want more, right? Like it's like them kids smack, bro.
It's crack, man.
I had a bag. I should have had a bag. I'm doing this all wrong right now.
But yeah, so it's like treading the line between appropriate and inappropriate, because it can't be quite inappropriate because it's my name. So you can't tell me that I'm wrong for my name. And just all the different iterations from it. So that's where it started. That's where we came from. And we've like changed and had to pivot how and what we were going to do so many times. And I spent so much time just perfecting, I guess, what I wanted the brand to be. A lot of people, I just want to say this too. Be careful who you like share your vision with or who you hear from. Because everybody's not going to be able to get it quite how you get it. And that's something that I had to learn to trust myself, trust my inner voice. People who I love, people who I respect, other established business owners, they're like, oh, that's really funny. That's crazy. It would be a really great gag gift. And that's like the lane that you should be in. And I was like, you're not quite getting it. Like,
let me paraphrase some real quick. So I attend Word of Faith. Morehouse brother, Dr. Del Brown, is the bishop there. And one of the things that he said, I'm paraphrasing again, and I hope it was him. I'm going to give him credit. is that nobody is supposed to understand the vision that God gave you. Period. That's the bottom line, bro. They can't fathom it. They can't, because it wasn't for them. It was for you. And not only was that vision for you, the tools are for you, the grit is going to be for you, the perseverance, the resilience is going to be the exact dose of what you need for each level or each obstacle you encounter. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's so crazy once you're really outside of it and you look back at the process. But go ahead. Like I said, it's your show, but I had to interject.
No, please. I enjoy the dialogue, but it's everything that you need, it's already been provided, even if you have to go and mine for it. And like I said, I have my faith has increased, and my faith in myself allows me to have more faith in God. And I really I believe there's nothing that I cannot do. I used to say that before, but I really believe it now. And being it's weird saying I'm a food entrepreneur. I am, but to take something, this was all in my head. The way I wanted it to look, the way I wanted things to taste. And when I got the bags, like after I worked and did all this great stuff, to hold something in your hand and it has your name on it, I can't really describe the sense of empowerment that comes with that. And it's like, I did this. And this is coming from a young man who, and I'll be young man till I'm 80 years old. But
there you go, talk your shit. They say youth is wasted on the young, baby.
Facts. But getting out of the middle class rut was something that, like I said, it changed my life, my perspective. Lindsay, happy belated birthday. Because when you're in the middle class,
happy belated.
When you're in the middle class, you're comfortable. So I don't have the struggle story that all the rappers have. Oh, I grew up in a single parent home. I went to bed hungry. I had to go and sling track. I had to do this. I had to do that. That's not my story. And I think that poverty on that level, it gives you a certain type of hustle that nobody can take from you. You already hit rock bottom. You've got to, come back up. On the other end, if you come from a privileged position, if you grew up knowing about money, entrepreneurship was always in front of you. Your mindset's already kind of wired for that. So it's nothing, I don't say nothing big to launch out into that. But when you're in the middle class, in my experience, I saw my parents work extremely hard to provide a wonderful lifestyle for me and my little brother. I never went to bed hungry. I never had holy clothes. I lived a decent life. We didn't have everything that we wanted, but I never lacked anything that I needed. And so the formula was stay out of trouble, go to school, get a degree, get a good job, and you should be okay. And that's a wonderful formula for the 80s and the 90s. And my parents and my aunts, my uncles, everybody, they were literally telling me the formula that they knew. And I'm not mad at them about that at all. My aunt said to me one Christmas Eve, my family, we all get together on Christmas Eve. And she said to me and my cousin, y'all, I'm sorry. She said, we didn't know all of this was going to happen. We didn't know that the job market would be like this. All of y'all did everything we told y'all to do. And we know that y'all aren't where you want to be in life. And so, again, reclaiming your agency and understanding, again, that you don't have to just get a good job. But if you feel that urge inside of you to do and to create, you ought to do that. I'm sitting here looking right now at the people who are on the live. So there's Carlos, there's Lindsay, there's Jimmy, Seth. All of them are entrepreneurs. And I know that they all have to have a level of belief in themselves to make that jump. And sharing that with people has been really humbling for people to like hit me up and like, bro, I'm inspired by what you've done. And I feel really weird because I'm like, I haven't done anything. But they're just like, the fact that you talked about this and you did it and you're still doing it. Maybe I should do something that I've been always dreaming about. And breaking the limitations off of that mindset of let me just say, yeah, taking the limitations off yourself, I think it's what everybody needs to do in order to achieve the life that they want to achieve. And there's no guarantee. This is what I tell people. And then I'll shut up about this is that at this point, if these nuts and the sweet treats were to fail tomorrow, I would hurt because it's my baby, but I have the tools that's needed. Everything that's needed to make anything a success is already in me. So as an ENTP, we've got ideas out the wazoo. I have a list full of stuff that I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe my kids or grandkids can get to this because I reasonably can't get to all of this in one lifetime. But just getting out of that rut, changing your mindset, it'll shift the trajectory of your entire life, and I believe that.
Absolutely. There was a point that I was going to say, and it slips my mind right now, but I'm sure it'll come back. So let's really kind of get into the business aspect. Let's really talk about your first product design, about the bag, what the bless are going to taste like. I won't make it a while. I'll try to be a sniper about it. So let's talk about the sourcing and the production of the peanuts, cashews, whatever. How did you go about doing that? How that started?
Yeah. I'll say it's like Atlanta's biggest what do you call that? Scavenger hunt. So trying to find what it is that you're looking for and the quality that you want. So we get all of our stuff from the farmers market. So just as an aside, so starting off, we wanted to have all of our pecans come from Georgia, South Carolina. That's where part of my family's from. But we had a hurricane that came through. Georgia like wiped out the pecan crop. We're still suffering from that today. And I was trying to find Black pecan farmers, and I found a couple here in Georgia, but they would never answer the phone nor answer their emails. So Black folks who are producers, please check your emails because there's people like me who are trying to buy from you. But yeah, so sourcing that from who needs to not from who needs to be sourced from, but yeah, finding the right source. Sometimes it can be a challenge because you're managing inventory in different ways, and it's only when you run out of pecans, when you have a massive big order, all of a sudden that you start learning about supply chain. So you don't know what you don't know until you run into an issue that requires you to try to solve it kind of on your feet. And again, that's kind of the exciting part about entrepreneurship. Here's this problem. I need to find a solution because at this point, people have already exchanged. They've already given me their hard-earned money, and they're waiting for some pecans or cashews or almonds. So yeah, so that's the sourcing thing and getting them fresh. There's a lot of people who sell really trash pecans. Probably don't know that you're eating trash pecans until you have some good tasting pecans. But yeah, so that's the thing. And going forward, the big vision, the dream is to have our own pecan farm one day. I'll stop right there. I have a really big dream.
Listen, this is you can talk. I mean, you can go ahead and keep the dream, up here for now. So we're focused on sourcing the food items here in Georgia. Now, once you have your particular cashew, do you do walnuts? Do you do regular peanuts?
Yeah, so we focus right now. No walnuts. I literally just talked to somebody about walnuts the other day. I've got like a banana nut bread type of nut that I'm gonna probably play with. Might do like a limited edition type of thing. But we cook. Oh yeah, let me back up because I just realized about sourcing. So we cook all of our nuts in house. So we buy all the nuts raw and we apply the flavor. We do all of that kind of stuff. So we're not buying in bulk. It's just the raw stuff. I literally walk through. So the red velvet cake pecan is like our top seller. Yeah, man. Black folks love red velvet cake. But it literally came to me as I was walking through Walmart. So one of my aunts, love her dearly. She passed away, and one of the things that she would always do, um, she would make us cakes, and one of her signature cakes was red velvet. So I figured out what needed to be done, mixing, trial and error, and we get what we got. What's up, Taylor? We got the Williamses in the house. Shout out, yes. But yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. What was the original question? Because I'm just
No, you were about to talk. So you were speaking to how you put flavor on the nuts because you were just talking to somebody about walnuts, and you backtrack. You backtrack to speak about how you were, how you guys cook the raw material. You flavor them.
So supply chain, all that kind of stuff. So making sure that all the ingredients are there to do what needs to be done. It can be a challenge. And that just kind of shows you how you have to wear multiple hats, especially as a startup entrepreneur. You have to be the CEO, the CTO, the CMO, every C and every O and every little letter in between. You got to figure out how to do all of that. But like I said, it's all about management, sourcing from the right place. And so we got the holidays coming up. Now that I'm sorry, let me write this down. I need to get more people.
There it is. So, like that. Hey, that's entrepreneurship, though. You're in the middle of a conversation. Like, wait a minute. Ain't nobody going to do it for you.
Facts. So yeah, so just planning ahead, preparing, going to get it, and building relationships. Again, relationship is so important. My dad taught me something very early on. He said that manners will get you where money won't. So I make a point of wherever I go to try to get to know the regular folk who people are glossing over, people who usually get cussed out, yelled at, all that kind of good stuff. And they'll give me the heads up. They're supposed to say, well, we don't know when such and such is coming in, but they'll give me the clue. You might want to come in 2 weeks on a Saturday, wink, wink. And so those kind of things, those relationships, they really have helped guide the business, and it really helped open doors with meeting new people, meeting new opportunities. But we're talking about sourcing nuts, and I'll stop right there because I'm, again, trailing off.
No, that's fine. Listen, I have to do better as kind of like I want to tailor the conversation because Instagram is going to definitely set us off at an hour. So all right, so let's fast forward. So now you have a process for grabbing raw materials, a process for favoring them, where you distribute. Now you package them all in the same location too.
Yeah,
everything happens in one location, and then you're ready for shipment.
Yep.
You go to USPS, you go to FedEx, UPS. Who's your? How do you ship them out?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. It's been a very weird phenomenon all of a sudden. I shipped out my first UPS shipments today. Usually the USPS is usually the cheapest, but USPS has been screwing us over lately because people like order on a Monday and some kind of way they get it on like a Friday and they live a couple of miles away. So USPS has kind of been slowing stuff down. But yeah, so cook it, bag it, pack it up, ship it out. Try to do it within 24 hours, like getting better at the process. I'm trying to get it out next day. USPS and UPS, and I found out today that Staples, I can drop them off at Staples with both of them. So learning how to be more efficient with learning to be more efficient with the processes. Time has been the most essential resource that I have right now. Like I said, trying to work at 9 to 5 by day and then orders coming in at night. It's really dope when you get orders from people that you don't know because that means something's working right somewhere. But when you get overwhelmed with it, it's like, okay, what the heck am I going to do? So establishing processes and streamlining these different things. I'm guessing UPS just lowered their prices to be competitive or something like that. But I like it. Also, shipping is probably the most it's the biggest deterrent from people buying, because the shipping costs.
You got to factor that into how much you charge your peanuts for.
Man, who you tell? And okay, that's the whole thing about it. So for anybody who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, counting up the costs. It's a phrase that's is it in the Bible or do we just say it? No, it is in the Bible. Counting up the cost is a very real thing, and sometimes you have to ask yourself, like, I know that people who've tried the nut, they realize that no shipping is a tax, like costs a lot, it's worth it. But you have to price things in a way where people find value in it and they're willing to go above and beyond and pay the premium, because your product is just that dope. So you got to believe in your product and price it to sell. So, and that's a scary thing about it.
Kathy said, "What up, fam?" And that's definitely Bible.
Facts.
So let's jump forward, man. So obviously being in Atlanta, right, and being tapped in, right, being a good dude and being tapped into a very, very solid network. For those who don't know, you can see Instagram at TryDeas, NUTS. So let's talk about the most recent, man, kind of like celebrity sighting. You know what I mean, holding the bag, if you will. With Killer Mike and Expedition Sion Ti's. What was that like? Well, I mean, what was that link up like? Had they had it's weird saying this. Had they had your nuts before, and then you know what I mean? It was like let's talk about it.
Yeah. So this is the beauty of being in Atlanta, and again, going back to network. So if you talk about your brand enough, you build hype around it enough, you talk to the right people, you can get into the right places at the right time. And they were super dope. You have to remember that celebrities are just people too.
Absolutely.
It's kind of funny. Every celebrity that I've met, everybody with clout, they've been more down to earth than your Instagram influencers. People who think that they're somebody, but they're really not in real life. So when things don't feel forced, that's when it feels right. So meeting them, especially with their approach to entrepreneurship, black wealth, black economic power, they were super chill people. Because Mike didn't want to hold it back because he's like, nah, bro, you got to hold your nut. And that's where you see us laughing. That's what we're laughing about. But just being so lighthearted with you, and Tip, just being so gracious, like that's something. It's small things like that go a long way for me. I have a short list of people that once I get on, or when I have enough money to share the love and the wealth, pretty much anybody who's done anything to help me, I'm making it my duty to try to give back in some kind of way. And being from Metro Atlanta and knowing who Tip is to me, to us, to the city, for him to be cool enough to just kick it, enjoy the nuts, to say, yo, I think I might want to invest in this. All of that means a lot to me. Because I highly doubt when he was 20 something years old, talking about Rugby Bandman, while it's a Taliban, that he thought, I'm going to affect some young entrepreneur one day to want to go and give back to his community. And it models for me what I ought to do when I come into my greater success. That when I get on, or when I hit $1 million of revenue and sales, whatever, that I need to take the time to stop and talk to the next young aspiring entrepreneur. I need to take the time to give back. And I've just been really blessed. Again, what's my guy's name? Lord have mercy. Last name Walker. Tristan Walker, my entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, Bevel. I was just talking about him last night. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get celebrity shock easily or often at all. But when I met him, I like had a magazine. I was like, can you please sign this for me? Just because I appreciate him being a father, being a husband, and being an entrepreneur, and still being accessible. And he said, um, Deas Nuts and Other Sweet Treats branding is hands down the best branding that I've ever seen besides my own. For
Oh,
me,
that's
I
damn.
fell out. Yeah, so that's again, to be humbled like that and to receive a compliment like that from Tristan Walker of the Bevel Company, like, man. So
Yeah,
being
keep them
again,
hearts, keep them hearts, keep them hearts if you're in the room. Keep them hearts going. That's hella love. That's hella love. Hell yeah, hit them hearts, man.
thank y'all for being here tonight too. I know you have to be laid up doing whatever. It's Monday night football. Um, but yeah, so it's things like that, and having the opportunity to talk to different people, your gifts, they'll make room for you. And again, knowing the right people, um, I I don't know if I told you the story, but um, trying to work with Pinky Cole and Slutty Vegan, and we keep going around in circles, but we're gonna cement this. I was at a conference. Um, you can see that on the on YouTube. I was at a conference, and she said, "No." I stood up and asked a question. The microphones weren't working all that well, so it sounded really weird. It sounded really muffled, and all she could hear was "These nuts." And she said, "What did you say?" She said, "Listen, I know my business is called Study Vegan, but you don't have to be disrespectful like that." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. My name is Louis Deas. I'm the CEO and owner of These Nuts and Other Sweet Treats." And she said, "Oh." She said, "First, I love the name. Second of all, These Nuts is going to make you a millionaire." And it's so amazing how, again, being in the right places at the right time and being good people and God's hand being on you, this affords you certain opportunities. So it's funny because of a business mentor or coach, because I went to go support what she was doing, she had a guy named David Sands come and speak. He's his business is called David Never Sleep. He put on a conference. I had to go to the conference. She happened to be there and found the opportunity. And let me say this too. Don't be afraid to take risks and opportunity. If you see a celebrity and you got a business, even if they try to shoo you away, by all means, please don't bum rush them or anything, but take advantage of opportunities as they come to you. You never know when they'll come again. I've had people recommend me. There was a short list of names that Target wanted to talk to. There were 6 names, and Target said, "We want to talk to Deas Nuts." I don't know what's going to come from that, but having the market validation has been pretty dope. Um, and I'll just have a transparent moment with you guys. It's kind of weird. Um, I'm grateful for it. God knows I am. But it's weird talking to folks about the business for 2 years, and then all of a sudden, out of somebody else is holding the bag. Now it's like, oh, okay, so this is real. Well, it's been real for the past 2 years, but that's just how things work. And now the formulas just ride the wave, and we keep riding into it. And just the love, the feedback, the support, it's just been really, really cool. And again, it goes back to that. Don't know what's around the corner. I don't know who Tip is gonna tell about defense. I don't know who Tip is gonna tell about defense. I don't know what email is about to pop in. So it's just been really, really cool. Um, it's a confidence booster. It's also like, all right, it's time to buckle down. Let's get to this. Let's make it do what we do because I can't let myself down. Can't let anybody else down. I'm excited. I'm happy. I think big things are ahead for us.
What's the size of your team?
Mm, great question. It's a team of one. So I am. So So actually, let me backstep. Officially a team of women, but I count it a privilege and an honor again to have dope friends, people with different business acumen to kind of be an advisor, mentor. How can I do this? How can I do that? And they've been extremely helpful. My boy Ghost, he does photography for me with his company. He makes really fire music videos. And I've been talking to different people, and people are weighing in and helping. There's really, what's my guy's name? Drawing a blank. Older white gentleman, worked for like the World Economic Council or something like that, and really helped me understand how to forecasting.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, very important.
Extremely.
And once you get out of the basics of stuff again, it's how do I do this? And my time is extremely limited now, so I'm coming to the point where I have to learn to trust other people, work with and through other people, to accomplish what needs to be done. Because just as quickly as things are escalating, I can kill it by trying to do everything on my own. Because literally time does not allow me to. I can't keep cooking notes, getting on the phone and shopping it to different businesses. All that can't happen with one person. And so finding the right people to align with the mission to get the brand is very important and it's crucial to our success. So that's kind of what we're going to head to, what I'm headed into in 2021 is finding the right people, right fit, right personality. The last thing I want is somebody dry out and about trying to say, want to try these nuts. No, that's not what the brand is about. So again, and that's why I really want to just work through my friends and my family. My friends, they know me better than anybody. That's literally why they're my friend. My family knows me better than most or anybody. That's why they're my family. So if I can pour it back into the people who poured into me, if I can give them an opportunity, I definitely want to do that. Now, I hate to have to fire them, but I will. But hopefully that will never have to be a thing, because there's that alignment. Alignment is very crucial.
Yeah, it's very important. Man. I think we hit on a lot of good things, and it's a journey, right? There's they say as an entrepreneur, you gotta love the process. If you only focus on the end result, you're gonna be miserable.
Man, who you saying?
So with that, kind of with that segue, and you talking about us going into 2021 and things of that nature, I really would like you to kind of share with those that decide to do something around. Just some insight, man. Whether it's entrepreneurial insight, whether it's spiritual insight, whether it's just real nigga shit insight, like just start with the people, before we sign off.
Yeah, man.
A few things, not just one, as they come.
So I really just want to tell everybody to just keep going. I know that everybody's heard over and over again, but this has been a year straight out of Black Mirror on Netflix. Great stuff. If you haven't watch Black Mirror. It's weird, and there's been a lot of psychological, emotional, spiritual, mental weight that's just kind of hit everybody. But if you have a dream, if you have a vision, just start it. Start writing it. Start making moves towards it. Deas Nuts was thought about October of 2018. It was incorporated January 9th, 2019. And we didn't sell our first bag of nuts, or I did not release a bag of nuts sold until October of 2019. So, oh wow, it's about a year. Wow.
Yo. I said we in October right now. I was about to here we are, man. Here we are.
So it's just been a year of selling nuts. But when I get discouraged, I have to remind myself to keep going. God didn't bring me out here to just leave me.
Facts.
There's so much more that's in store. And I want to say this too, and I hate to say this sounding like not to be super preachy, but God will always show you his mind, and God confirms his word, miracle signs and wonders, however that's going to happen. I forgot about this. I hope Romaine is still here, but with Youth Congress, so when I went to Kingston, Jamaica, I taught a lesson on a different kind of evangelism, and it was about starting businesses and providing for people and finding a new way to show the love of Christ towards people if we help them put food on the table. As God would have it, the girls who were there, they were from St. Mary, which is like up in the bush. I went back to Jamaica for one of my homies' weddings. Actually, I guess that's your what? Brother-in-law, your uncle-in-law? Anyhow, I went back for the wedding. I ended up going back to preach at those people's church. They did not know I was coming. The girls who were there who listened to the lesson that I was teaching like a year prior, they just so happened to bring a business plan to church for the preacher to pray over. I happened to be the one that got to pray over the business plan.
The business plan that they listened to a year ago. Bruh.
And I was like, how does this happen? And it's signs like that said, yo, you just gotta keep.
That's divinity, bro. That's nothing short of divinity. Like, that's nothing. I got chills right now, bro. That's nothing short of divinity. And to go against that, you are really different. Like, I really, like, you told me that story and said, I was like, bro, like, you're wild. I don't even know if I could be in the same space with somebody who would deny something like that. Like,
yeah. And so you can't run from what it is that's meant for you. The right people, the right. I'm just telling you, way will. Yeah. So no matter what the adversity, even if you have to pause, even if you have to take a break, just keep going. Because he said in his word, he'll never leave you, he won't forsake you. And I've had to cling to that. And just knowing that, you know what, God, you got this. I've got this, and I've got it. I have to be free. And that's the last thing I'm going to say too, is that I'm doing this so that I can be free. I don't want to be beholden to anybody other than myself. And I want to be the cause of some other young man, a young woman down the line that says, I have a dream, but I don't know where to get started. I want to be able to be a blessing in their life. So keep going, give back, and just watch the seed that you sow. Watch it yield a bountiful harvest. Like I'm expect. If I die not wealthy, I'll be surprised. Because I'm expecting that to be like at this point, it's not a matter.
And I think that's I'm gonna say two things. One is that something that I've come to hear often this year. I feel like, especially with COVID, is delayed does not mean denied. Right? So we talk about keep going. That's exactly what that's about. Right? Some things just get delayed. Right? You're not ready to receive that. You haven't had that lesson or that experience that's going to better prepare you for whatever's to come. And
absolutely,
you are going to die wealthy, right? It may not be monetarily. There will be a wealth of something, even if it's a fucking wealth of nuts that you never got to sell, right? Like there's going to be, you know, right? Not to, you know, but like they're like you are wealthy in the experience that you've already gained being an entrepreneur, and your wealth is going to extend right beyond monetary, because now you just this video, two videos recorded as long as they're going to be out there, right? So the wealth of knowledge, and wealth of energy, a wealth of transference of just wisdom. And so you will be wealthy, and of course you want it monetarily so that you can eat your great grandkids. You know what I mean? Maybe not look at your finger if they don't have to or want to. Feel me? Straight up. I want to say that I really, really created Cowherd's Corner because I really wanted to highlight Black entrepreneurs. That my first season back in 2017 was Cowherd's Corner, Entrepreneurs on Fire. And the fire is literally in the process, right? Like you eating ramen noodles. You may not know how you're gonna raise your next round. You may not know if you're gonna make rent, right? But you know this is your business. This is your business. I created this to really give y'all flowers, to let y'all know that I'm proud of you as a friend, as another human being, right? As another man in the Black diaspora. I'm proud of you because I know it's not easy, and I know they don't want us to succeed. That's just the bottom line. So Instagram started that time with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So I'm gonna stop. Say last thing is delayed does not mean denied. Definitely keep going, and we'll all be wealthy. Go ahead and close out.
Yeah, just thank y'all. Well, thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I'm proud of you, proud of what we're doing, and I'm looking forward to when they go dig in the archives and say that, oh, this is what they did years before they became massively wealthy. I'm expecting big. So thank you, bro, and thank y'all for being on the live and supporting. I appreciate y'all.
For sure. All right, brother. Talk to you soon. Okay.
All right, man.
Peace, bro. Peace, bro. Bye. All right. Thank you to everybody who just tapped in. That was a great episode with Lou. We're gonna go ahead and call it a night. We'll be back on Wednesday with Meg. Meg is the owner of the Stylist Agency. She does web design, marketing, copyright. So she's really dope. We're gonna have a great conversation. I appreciate everybody who pulled up. We'll be back here, Cowherd's Corner, at 7:00 on Wednesday. Till next time. Peace. Peace, y'all.